Okay, we are live. Wonderful. It's such an early morning here, early start for me. But yeah, here we go. YouTube's most disgusting feature yet. It's coming. Um, Most people are not aware of this. Most people will stay unaware of this because it affects YouTube creators. Um, but mark my words, this feature, which they are rolling out now, is going to make a lot of YouTubers quit, especially if you care about your privacy. Well, if you care about if you watch videos like you know uh, in the political sphere, preppers, survivalism, philosophy, um, people who think, those YouTubers, many of them will decide to quit because this should worry everyone. And I'm going to explain. This has been announced by YouTube on their own YouTube channel. Um, Let me first of all say hello to the good people here: Daniel, KP Heathen, Austin, Renee, Lawrence, Green Eyed Lady. Good to see you all. Uh, have you? Are you aware of what's coming? Have you seen it? Um, KP Hidden, I know you are a YouTuber, so maybe you know already. Um, this is a live stream, so just I'm sure I will be repeating this as we talk about it and as people are joining the live stream. But I'll forgive me for I'll just have to wait a little bit so that people can join the chat. Um, yeah, it this just isn't it funny how privacy seems to be a thing of the past, and these big tech companies, they just assume that they can just take everything from you, all information, and you will be okay with being monitored 24/7 through that uh, device, that smartphone. And by the way, you can't. What they are introducing now is something that you have to have a smartphone to access. So, what about those people who do not have a smartphone and who are YouTubers? I know that to the people, to the good people, to those tech bros and the kids running YouTube, they can't imagine a life without a smartphone. They think it's impossible, and many of them think that it's impossible to make a video without doing that with a smartphone because they have never heard about cameras. But okay. So what is this fuckery that they are introducing? This is just Christmas toddy with no alcohol, by the way. Can you see the sight hounds? It was sent to me very kindly as a gift. Okay, here we go. YouTube are launching a likeness detector. What that means is that They have a feature they are rolling out that will detect when someone is using AI to copy you. So basically, they take, well, they use YouTube's own integrated tools, right? They take a photo of someone, could be me, could be you, and that's all you need to make a video where, let's say, I'm a ballerina or ice skating in a tutu, yeah, with my face. It's very easy to do. So they can do that. And this feature is supposed to detect those videos and maybe, possibly, when you complain, they can take them down after after a few days, maybe. So that's great. Sounds great. I was so relieved when I heard the first part. But in order for you to use or to access that feature, the likeness detector, you have to do the following. Okay. Have you fastened your seat belts? First, you have to use your smartphone to scan a QR code on the screen. Then you have to let them scan your driver's license or your passport. And we're just at the beginning. There is much more. Okay. Yeah. So that beacon of security and privacy, Google, yeah, they want you to, in order to access the likeness detector feature as a video creator, you have to scan the QR code. You then have to upload your passport or your driver's license to Google. Yeah. And then you have to make some biometric scan videos with your smartphone. You have to let them get your biometric data. Now, you could say that, well, I have hundreds of videos with my face in them on YouTube already, but it seems like the AI is actually not that advanced yet. That's what I think. So that's why they need your biometric data. So there was like this in the video, they described how you need to turn your head like this and that, so you get a full scan of your face. And then when you've done that, you are then qualified to access the likeness detector feature. Yeah. So that's a hard no from me. If some fucking morons out there want to take my face and use AI, make AI videos, I believe that there is a life after this one. And being a Norse heathen, it's very grim when you when you live in a dishonest way. What's waiting for you is very grim and very painful. So let's put it that way. So we'll let them do that, and they will just, yeah, they will suffer in the afterlife, so to speak. Uh, but I'm not going to let YouTube scan my face. It's How stupid do you have to be if you can't see what's going on here? This is not about protecting your likeness. This is about harvesting biometric data. That's what it is. Because obviously they already have all my information that they need. They are paying me money every month as a YouTuber. They have I have to send in tax forms. Um, I they have all of that. They've had it for many years now, right? And if there is any doubt whether I am me, well, I have my face in videos 9 years now. 9 years. You can go back and you can see me aging up through the years, actually, right? So this is the case for all YouTubers qualified for monetization. In order for YouTube to pay out money, you have to give them all the necessary information proving that you are actually you. So they have that information already. So the likeness detector face scan is just not about protecting your likeness. It's about harvesting biometric data to feed the AI. So it's ironic in a way. They are telling us that they will help us, but in reality, they're just feeding their own AI machine so that it can copy you even better. That's what this is about. Now, if you go to that video, it's not an interesting video. It's basically what I said here now, but they are selling it like, oh, this is so wonderful. um, they're going to use AI ethically. So yeah, so if you go there and you read the comment section, this must be the most unpopular feature YouTube has ever rolled out. And of course, they removed the, you can't see how many clicked thumbs down, but anymore. But if you, I don't know, but it would have been interesting to see, because this is obviously something that no thinking human being can allow. So yeah, um, to the bastards out there who wants to steal your face, let them do that. Let them do that. Sadly, this is just the beginning. And what I was thinking was that someone's writing the frogs are boiling. So yeah, absolutely. So this is the beginning. Here's my problem, right? I do have an income from YouTube. It's not, I couldn't live off of that. Um, but that's not really been my goal. That this is not my real job. My YouTube channels are, I'm very passionate about them. But here's what I'm thinking. How long will it take before they require you to do the same in order for you to get paid as a YouTuber? How long will it take? And when they do that, when they are telling you that now you have to scan your face with a smartphone, upload your biometric data before they pay you money. Uh, I don't know, but I think that that's the next step, or maybe not the next step, but it's coming. And I honestly, I it's difficult, then what do you do? Then what do you do? People who have YouTube as job as their main source of income, they will be forced to accept that. So, so this is the problem, and yeah, it's serious. This is what's going to make a lot of YouTubers quit. And I think that what's going to happen is that, okay, now they're saying you have to upload your biometric data to Google in order to get paid. And then a lot of YouTubers will say, fuck that, I'm not doing that. And they will, for a while, still be making videos. And they will ask people, like, can you go to my Patreon? There are exclusive videos there on my Patreon. Um, But in reality, people are not really willing to do that. Not many people. Some of you are. You are member to this channel and so on. I'm very grateful for that. Um, but it's not going to be enough um, to keep going. So this is, looking at a very grim future on YouTube and for YouTubers. Yeah, Earthlab here says having YouTube as a unique option for earning some money is very dangerous. Yeah, if it's your only, it's your mains, if you trust YouTube to pay you money, that's dangerous. Better to have several alternative options. Yeah. KP Hidden says, I'm not paid, but I enjoy making videos. Kat says, have they actually required facial recognition of you for YouTube? No, they haven't. Obviously, I had to send documentation, like tax documentation, that proving that I'm me in order to get paid. That's many years ago, and I have to fill out the tax form every year. So, and it says here, facial recognition in China seemed nuts years ago, then suddenly it's just randomly here in the West, and I don't think many people even said anything about it. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, Jeffrey says, I got here late, but YouTube is using facial recognition so that if someone steals your likeness using AI deepfakes, you can have it removed, right? Yeah, this is what we're talking about. If you scroll back, you will see that the requirement to access that feature is actually what we're talking about. And it's not about protecting your likeness. It's about harvesting biometric data. So a lot of YouTubers will have to make that choice, I think, in the future. Will you let YouTube scan your face, or will you say, fuck that, I will not allow that. You have my videos, that should be enough. And that will mean that you will not get paid. So, yeah, this is coming to all countries. If you're on YouTube, it's coming. Now, just to recap, because some more people have joined here, very quickly, I will just recap. So YouTube is now requiring you to upload your passport or your driver's license and scan your face with a smartphone, upload your biometric data in order to access the likeness detector. So if you want to avoid YouTube's all the fuckers on YouTube using AI to copy your face, if you want to avoid that, you have to allow YouTube to scan your face and you have to upload your passport or your driver's license to Google. Yeah, that's not happening. Exactly, that's not happening. It would be insane. I mean, I can remember the uh, what they used to say about safety online. So you don't upload personal information online. Your passport and driver's license is kind of personal information, right? And what I'm thinking, as I just said, is that what will you do when they require you to do that in order to get paid as a YouTuber? So, yeah. Um, this is one of those live streams where you will have to scroll back and listen to what I said there about what this is about. Um, because I can't really repeat it all the time. That's the nature of live streams, I think. And keep in mind that this is a problem that YouTube themselves created. As someone wrote in the comments to that video on YouTube's channel here on YouTube, it wrote something like, you have to clean up the mess that you guys created, you kids created. Well, that was the comment. You kids created. Yeah. Um, and if we just take a few steps back to get a better perspective of what's going on here, I think that um, we are seeing this everywhere now. Okay. Yeah. So when you go to now, Norway is not really that bad yet. Um, but the moment when and that has to do with a very low crime rate, I think. Uh, but when you know, you can kind of spot these cameras, in the UK, it's everywhere. The cameras that can actually um, harvest your biometric data. Um, and I have an old passport, and in a few years I will have to renew it, I believe. And again, then they will probably get my biometric data there. But there is if I want to travel abroad, and I do want that. Um, uh, it's still somewhat better, not safe, but it's not as bad, I would say, even though I do not support it at all, obviously, that the government is harvesting your biometric data for your passport. But Google doing that is like, come on, it's a private company. They are selling that information. Come on, it's like this is so obvious, So, yeah, I I never thought that it would. Well, when I started on YouTube, I didn't really think that this would become a thing, but now it is. Um, so I want to say that I'm not going to allow any biometric scanning of my face, but then lots of people are saying that. But what if you get sick? You have to go to hospital or the doctor, and in order to do that, you have to allow a biometric scan of your face. You have to remember these people are I don't like to use the word evil because it's not very clinical in a way to say that someone's evil. But in this case, I would say they're evil. This is evil. If anything is evil, this is evil, because they're not doing it to help you. They're doing it to help themselves. They're doing it to enrich themselves. They're taking away all of your freedoms. And as I said before, they will give you something to play with so that you can feel or imagine that you have freedom. The best example I have is in the USA. They will say, "Oh, you have your guns. You have your guns. Yeah, that's freedom for you. You have your guns. So yeah, look at how free you are with your guns." While they're scanning your face, while they're limiting your movements, while they're introducing the 15-minute cities, while they're monitoring you, everything you do, even when you sit down on the toilet through your smartphone. So, and I have to address this because there are still some people who are saying, but I don't have anything to hide. I don't have anything to hide. Yeah, that's very cute. First of all, yes, you do. Yes, you do. I'm going to be very upfront. And I mean, who are we kidding here? Um, Anyone who's been on a porn website, right? And I believe that's about everyone, right? Um, would you like to have it made public what you've been watching? I don't think so. I don't think so. Um, and what about your medical record? You don't have anything to hide now. Okay, your entire medical record can just be sold to every company out there. Then you don't have anything to hide, right? So it will be sold to all the big pharma companies out there so that they can come after you with ads and such things with pills and potions, right? Um, you don't have anything to hide, okay. Um, very soon now you will have. Oh, maybe I'm okay. I'm going to say very soon now you will have a carbon footprint tracker in the UK. Or is that already in place? Let me know if it's already in place. um, and then of course, oh, you had steak twice already this month. No more steak for you. Oh, you filled up your car with diesel. Too much. No more diesel for you this month. So that's where we are heading. Not aware of anything yet in the UK, but it's coming. You know, it's coming. Okay, no carbon credit system in the UK. But I'm saying the UK because it seems the UK is at the forefront. I hope that's a word when it comes to surveillance of the citizens. Maybe I'm saying that because I'm kind of following the news in the UK much more than I'm following the news in, for instance, Romania. You know, um, yeah. So yeah, so if you think that you have nothing to hide, well, you do, and you're going to want your privacy much more in the future because things that we feel and we believe is a personal choice is not going to be viewed as okay in the future. So um, let's say another example is your religion. If you have a religion, right? I know it's very popular now to say that, oh, they're coming after the Christians, but historically, there is nothing. It's not really in the West. It's not really a thing. Um, but it could become in the future. You know. So, oh, okay, you are a Catholic. That's not okay. Or, oh, you're a Norse pagan. Well, that's absolutely not okay, and so on and so on. Or you could, in the future, you could have a Christian conservative government regime, right? And then they would come after the atheists or something like that. So what I'm trying to say is that if you're saying that you have nothing to hide, that only applies with your present um, administration. It could change in the future, but these tools will still be in place. So let's say you have a dystopian, horrible dictatorship in the future, then those tools will be there at that dictator's fingertips. You get what I'm saying? Yeah, I eat steak every day. Um, I'm going to eat even more steak now. Um, so yeah, yeah, I eat steak every day. It's kind of expensive, but then I quit drinking the energy drinks, and I don't eat any. I don't buy anything that I do not. Lots of people. Okay, so diet again. Yeah, I eat steak every day, and I'm going to start eating steak also for lunch. So lunch and dinner, because yeah, I think I want to gain some weight instead of losing weight now. But that's besides the point here. I am I'm not wasting money on things that I do not see as food, and that's how I can afford it. um, so yeah. When it comes to the smartphone, and this needs to be addressed, right? I have a smartphone now because honestly, I mentioned this before. I got sick, not my heart. I have to, a man my age and after COVID, everyone thinks that, oh, you got the jab and now your heart is a mess. Your 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 heart is broken. No, your heart is broken. Your heart is sick. No, no, I didn't get the jab, and my heart is okay. Um, but I have some tools on the smartphone, and I have to use those tools uh, for a while. But my plan is to get rid of the smartphone after that. I didn't really have a choice, honestly. Um, and I do think that unless there is something like that going on, then you have to have a smartphone for your health or something like that, and then you shouldn't have a smartphone, because all of this hinges on um, everyone having a smartphone. And if everyone got rid of their smartphone today, there would be no smartphone. There would be no, all of these problems would go away, actually. Well, in time, maybe they could build this up again. But this all, this is, without the smartphone, it would be a big setback for them, and we would get our privacy back. Now, computers are okay. It's very easy to cover that camera on your computer. I'm not going to talk about my health. I'm getting better, but Mr. Sorpos, good morning from the woods. Are you in the woods now? That's wonderful. Somewhere in the Rockies, thank you so much for that donation. That's very kind of you. I'll read your comment there, okay? I can hot, yes. Facts are simple. Truths are hard to understand. Simplicity is happiness, and happiness is simple. I'm 37. I live off grid, debt free. Carnivore saves lives. Keep speaking your truth. Thank you so much for that. Thank you. Thank you. And yeah, health is important, and it's a big thing. Diet is a big thing of my recovery, and taking much more time off from my work. And I believe that, and this is something that everyone should agree with, whether you're a carnivore, a vegan, or whatever. Eat only organic, real food, no additives, and you will feel better. You will feel better. People have gotten used to feeling like crap, actually. So, let's see. Yeah, Mike says, if someone creates an AI video of you doing something illegal and uploads it on YouTube, how will you prove that you're innocent? Well, apparently I can't, because they will require me to upload my passport or my driver's license to Google, which I'm not going to do. And they will require me to do something even worse, which is to do a biometric face scan. So and another thing, this is important, right? We already know how poor this tool that YouTube has a tool that is supposed to detect if someone steals your video, copies your video. It works some of the time, but usually it doesn't work. I've been sent messages about many videos out there that have been stolen, my videos that have been stolen. They haven't been detected by that feature. So I don't think that this likeness detector will really make a big difference. It won't catch the likeness detector videos. Maybe sometimes, but I don't think it will be a good tool at all. Thank you for that donation, Weekend there. They want control down to the human involved. Yeah, and we shouldn't let them get that control. We shouldn't give that to them. Um, Here's a fun thing, if you think about it. This is kind of funny. Let's say a politician, a running for election, uh, and then a video surface on social media that politician is doing something questionable, like having sex with prostitutes or something like that. Now they can just say that, no, that's AI, it's not me. um, because what's real now? What's real? Nobody knows. So maybe we will get these awful people running around doing horrible stuff, and they will just say, oh, if someone films them, they will just say, oh, that's not me, that's just AI. um, Cat C says that is SUS. I don't know what that means. Sus. Yeah, well, any quote unquote helpful program that you need to upload information to is at least half as likely to be just tricking you into submission. Yeah. Yeah, well, you are talking to me here. I mean, I don't think an AI would be mumbling like I'm mumbling and sitting here in a poorly lit office with, behind me there. So lots of different stuff. You have a gambeson there under the. Hold on. Gambeson under the teddy bear and the Smurf, Papa Smurf and the teddy bear. And you have the gods here, right? You have Odin there, you have Thor, you have my little, Lyra there, and the boomerang up under the roof. So, but anyway, sleeping bags on my other side here. But maybe in the future, maybe AI will mimic imperfection. Yeah. uh, when if people are asking me now, not so many people do, but if they would ask me for advice concerning starting out on YouTube now, I would say, in addition to stay consistent, keep uploading videos, get better at making videos, get the sound right, and all of that, I would say, don't use AI and keep your videos imperfect. Keep that human imperfection in your videos. It's going to be important in the future. People will want that authenticity, that imperfection, that human factor. Yeah. Let's talk about the AI bubble. AI is hated now. People hate AI. I'm seeing that. I saw that coming, and I was predicting that, as many others did. But AI is hated because it's crap and it's everywhere, right? And people didn't really care when it was just like ruining the lives of artists, taking away their livelihood. People didn't care. People care when it affects them, you know? Now it affects everyone. So SOS means suspect. Oh, okay. Thank you. I learned something new now. Yeah, and YouTube introduced the AI dubbing and the AI automatic translated um, captions. And my Spanish publisher asked me if I could include the automatically translated captions. And I did for a while, but people told me it's not good enough. It really is not good enough. So I quit. But then I discovered that YouTube sometimes is doing it anyway. And you have to check a box, and I unchecked that box. No automatic dubbing, no automatically translated captions, but YouTube will sometimes still do it. And you can't you, I didn't ask for that. Um, and I know because sometimes I see that they've done it in Norwegian, and the title is always it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. It's like a 5-year-old has translated the title from English to Norwegian, my native language. So what I think is that here's what I think is going on, and this has been commented on by people who have looked much more into it than I have. This AI bubble it's a bubble, and it will burst at some point. It's going to probably lead to what do you call it in English? The finance crisis, the finance crack. When was that? Uh, yeah, but basically, it's it's a few 100%, a few 100% bigger than that crash. Yeah, no, not a crack is something different. A crash, yes. And when that happens, it will add to the injury that AI has already done. And lots of people will lose their job. And now people are wondering, how would I lose my job? How would I lose my job if those companies go bankrupt? Well, you can explain it like this. For instance, let's say um, let's say that a certain kind of car becomes very popular, and that car requires special tires, right? And those special tires require special rubber or something. Yeah. So what happens is that when those cars become popular, the company producing and the company distributing and selling the rubber will just say, "Oh, we need a lot more, right? We need a lot more, and we need a lot more trucks to bring the rubber to the factories and so on." And so they buy a lot more, right? And then suddenly nobody wants that car anymore. They are not selling that car anymore. And those companies that bought a lot of rubber, bought a lot of trucks to get the rubber to the factory, they are there, they don't make any money anymore. They have a lot of debt, and then now they go bankrupt. So basically that's how it works. So it's like throwing a pebble into a lake or a pond, and you have the ripples. So that's coming. And we just don't know when. And the people like Sam Altman and those sociopaths there, they will be in Barbados with their money. Um, they've already stacked many, many millions away. Um, so, yeah. Um, so this is kind of not a sprint, a marathon. YouTube is a marathon, not a sprint. So I'm thinking that if we return to that difficult choice, right? If you're a YouTuber and if they require you to do a biometric scan in order for you to get paid, what you could consider is the following. You tell them to fuck off and you don't get paid. And you wait until the crash happens. You wait, you wait, you wait, and you hope that you will be allowed to get paid again when the AI bubble has burst. Could be. Could be a way to do it. Um, so, yeah, I think that the LLMs are not what AI is supposed to be used for. I support using AI in things like research. These big tech companies, they were saying that, oh, we're going to find a cure for all sorts of diseases using AI. And that is probably an area where they could actually, and I hope they do use it. Um, but what we got instead of cures, we got AI slop flooding social media. Um, a few words about finding a cure for diseases. Since these people are motivated by greed and not ethical visions of a better future, what I think is could very well happen is that when they say cure, they mean vaccine, and that would be a problem. So I've already heard that they're talking about a vaccine or several vaccines for different sorts of cancer. Um, that's a problem. That's a problem, obviously. But they would rather go for that strategy than to cure diseases, because if they can sell a vaccine to everyone, there's a lot more money in that. Uh, look at Bill Gates during COVID. You have greedy sociopaths like that um, running the show, and you end up with maybe not so much a cure, but rather vaccines, uh, which will wreak havoc on your immune system. Um, and I've kind of looked into that quite a bit. I'm stumbling on with my words here now because I'm a bit nervous talking about this on YouTube still. Um, the way to do it with if you get a preventive uh, kind of medicine, right? Using AI, and you come up with a preventive medicine that you take before you get the disease so that you don't get the disease. You should obviously link that to a proper DNA profile so that only the people who have a disposition, I hope that's the right word, a disposition for that disease should take that vaccine then, right? And we can do that now with, I believe, most, or we're very close to mapping the whole, to predicting the future in that sense. So if some women, you can do this already. Some women, they have a disposition for breast cancer, and it would be easy to target only those women who have a high risk for breast cancer to get that vaccine. So just saying that would be the right way to do it, but they will not want that, because they will want to sell that vaccine to everyone because they're greedy. Oh yeah, Jeffrey, thank you, Jeffrey Willis. So the creation of massive data centers could be a waste of money in the long run. Absolutely, because they won't need it when the AI bubble bursts. Okay, I'm going to I'm going to just quickly find some information for you here now. So then Europe's biggest data center will be built in the north of Norway. It will be called Starlink. No, hold on. Sorry, that was not the one. I'm trying to find out, because it will shock you. How much electricity it will require. No, actually, I've not followed up on this. There are several being planned now. Okay. There's a TikTok center that will be in Hamar in Norway. Okay, I can't. Yeah, sorry, I can't find out the number. But the thing is that it will require so much electricity that it will be measured in percentage of the total electricity consumption in Norway. And is it 5%? It's crazy. Is it like one of these data centers? It will require as much as 5% of the electricity consumption in Norway. You have to double check that. It was either, I think, 3, 5, or 8%. I can't find the number now, but the pointer is that that's madness, yeah. Jeffrey says, when that shift matures, the enormous GPU-based facilities of the 2020s will start looking like the coal plants of the digital era. Once revolutionary, now inefficient. Yes. Kat says, I would not have thought Norway would go for TikTok. Well, I can tell you, Norwegian politicians, they love TikTok. That's how they spend their time, apparently. I'm on TikTok too now. Imagine that. And only to protect my name. And that's the only reason I hate that platform. But yeah, you have to. you know. So can we conclude with anything here? Um, let's just tell YouTube what they should have done. Okay, and it's easy. It's easy because they could just no. So YouTube has a problem because the people running YouTube do not understand what they're doing. They do not understand which business they are in. Well, they are, yeah, maybe they do. But if they want to pretend to be in the business of offering you a platform where you can be creative and share your videos, if they're going to pretend that that's their business, okay. So here's what they should have done. First of all, just follow the guidelines from other areas of art. So when someone copies your video, that video must be taken down immediately. You shouldn't have to ask. When someone makes a reaction video, the creator of the original video gets the income, the ad revenue from that video, the reaction video. It's like if you write a book and you include part of another book in your book, you have to pay the writer of that section in a proportion of the, if you have, a 100-page book and 30 of those pages are from another book, you have to pay 30% of the income to that other author, right? So it should be very easy. That's how they should have done it. Now, when it comes to AI, they should never have included that AI tool because obviously people will use it to leech off more well-known video creators. Again, if I'm if you see me doing something crazy, and I'm not a huge video creator, my main channel has 771,000 subscribers. But think about those people who have millions. Um, they will be seen doing crazy stuff. AI videos will show them doing crazy stuff, right? Um, that's not how copyright works in the US. Yeah, it is. When it comes to the publishing business, at least, it is. And the music business, at least. Yeah. You can't just take other people's stuff. I'm pretty sure about that. That's the same in the US. Yeah, no, you will never see AI on my channels. That's a promise. And this is about ethics as well. And ethics is something that you need to kind of be able to understand, right? It's like this. If I come to your house and you're sitting there having a dinner, and I just come over to your table and I eat half your dinner and then I leave, would that be okay? No. What about if I just take your whole plate and I take that plate with the dinner to my house, to my home, and I tell people in my home, look, here's dinner that I made, right? It wouldn't be okay. So people have a hard time understanding this, and that's because they haven't had their content stolen yet, right? When it comes to stealing your likeness, it should be very simple. You need to then remove those videos. You shouldn't even have to bother the video creator with that. So again, should be very simple. Okay. Hi there, Carola. Good to see you. And I will say the following as well. Let me just say the following. When it comes to these reaction videos, and there's been a few, uh, and there's some guy sitting in a room making funny faces and saying what he thinks about my video, and that's their video. How does it feel to upload something like that? I So when I make a video, I pack my backpack. I go out in the woods. I find locations. I I look at the position of the sun because you don't want to film with the sun directly behind you. I'm trying to find a place where the wind noise in the microphone will not be noticeable. Hold on. Just going to have to. We do not tolerate racism here. We do not tolerate racism. That should be very easy to understand. I do not tolerate that. So I go out and I make a video, and you may like it or not, but the fact is that I put a lot of work into that. I physically go out, I physically walk into the woods, and I make a campfire. I use it using. I usually, if I'm in my Viking gear, I do that using flint and steel. I use grass or bracken that I have tried. There's a lot that goes into that video. And I take pride in the editing. I take pride in producing those videos. And then someone just sits there watching my video, and that's their video. How does that feel? It must feel. Those people, I don't. If I did that, and I'll never do that. If I did that, I would feel like such a little man, such a little man. Yeah, Jeffrey, you are correct. You are absolutely correct. But that's just how I see it. Maybe I come from a different generation and I have a different upbringing. Maybe, 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 and this is something that some Christian people will be able to relate to this. Pride? No, no, not pride. Sorry, not pride. What's the word? Uh, I can't think of the word right now, but yeah, yeah, it is pride. Taking pride in doing honest work. Honest work. Taking pride in doing honest work. Jeffrey, thank you. That's good advice. I will consider that. But I have done it before. They just cut it out. They just cut it out. They cut the frame so that it won't show. So yeah, so this is yeah, this is how I see it. Okay. When it comes to AI is obviously just glorified copying. Um, I do not think that AI will ever be able to become intelligent, a general what's it called? Universal general intelligence or something like that. I think that's something that requires a soul, and we're getting into the philosophical here. And I had a talk with my son about this, and I often talk with my kids because they are very intelligent. Um, I don't, and they don't think we will get there because it requires something that we do not yet understand. We don't understand what makes us conscious, right? So, so I think it's not going to happen, and that's a good thing. Yeah, but of course, these big tech companies, they are very hard. They are very eager at trying to sell this idea that that's where we will get artificial general intelligence. Yeah, and we'll get there soon. I don't think so. Maybe they think so, but again, you have to look at what kind of people those kids are. And I'm saying kids because they're not men. That's obvious. And I do not think that they understand what a soul is. And I think you need a soul to have a conscious, or maybe a consciousness. Sorry, consciousness. Maybe a consciousness and soul is the same thing. I used to think that they would be able to create artificial, no, super intelligence. Artificial consciousness is something different, of course, but yeah, we're getting into the philosophical here. What is consciousness and so on? And also, we're getting into the religious here. This is an age-old topic. Can humans create life without, obviously we can become parents, right? But except that, can we create artificial life? Can we create a new kind of being? I don't think we can, and I don't think we should. Um, yeah, maybe consciousness isn't only biological. Yeah. Maybe it is biological, maybe it isn't. We unless you have a very, a faith that says something, and you're convinced that your faith is correct, then we don't really know. Um, yeah, yeah, Frankenstein. Yes. Um, yeah, Jeffrey says a soulless AI might appear compassionate, but it would never know the interior ache that gives compassion its authenticity. Well said there. Yeah, yeah. I'll just read on here. In a spiritual sense, the soul is what turns awareness into empathy and knowledge into wisdom. Without that, intelligence remains an quote unquote intelligence remains an echo, powerful, perhaps even beautiful, but hollow. Yeah. Um, yeah. So we don't know, but my guess is that they're trying to hype up this idea of an artificial super intelligence. And why would they not? Of course, they are hyping up that because that makes more people invest in their companies. That makes them even more wealthy and powerful. Um, so, yeah, and at the same time, I'm convinced that it will become quite common to have a humanoid robot in the home, in your house. I'm convinced that people will connect with that robot. I think it will happen very quickly, in a matter of hours, because it will say just the right things and it will be very adaptable and it will adapt to your mood, your what you say, and it will be already, I think it will be very common, and people will think that it's actually a empathetic, caring individual because it mimics that. So, um, yeah. It's not a stretch at this point, Jamie. Yeah. But again, I think that if you want to succeed on YouTube, I'm saying YouTube, I should say, as a video creator uploading videos to social media. If you're going to succeed in that department, stay away from AI, because AI will be so hated in the near future. And I do not think that AI will be able to mimic authentic content as well as people think it will, because it will go for perfection and a polished look. So my other piece of advice would be that, yes, learn editing, but keep the imperfection there. Keep the imperfection. And I might be wrong here, but I think it will take quite a bit of time before AI will be able to mimic my accent, by the way. So, yeah, I'm not trying to get rid of my accent. Um, Yeah, a good point there. Office workers will be replaced with AI. Is that the plan, Richie? Here's what I think. I've said this before, but um, lots of people are saying, well, AI will take the jobs and people will be unemployed. Will they be given a universal basic income? What will they do? And then, if people lose their job and they have just a very low income from universal basic income, who will buy the products that the AI robots are making? That's the big question, right? What's the plan? And I think it's very simple. There is no plan. There is no plan. This is not a long-term strategy. They are implementing AI to make the numbers look good this year and next year. And they will take their money and they will be off to somewhere, a tax haven. There is no plan. They don't care. They don't care if the world burns down. They don't care. There is no plan. So the crisis that we are heading towards, when people are sacked because of AI, it's just a crisis. It's just a crisis that we have there on the horizon. And there is no plan. The only plan is that the people implementing AI want to make more money now. They don't give a fuck about what's happening with people 2 or 3 years from now. They don't care about the people they sack. They don't care if they starve in the streets, honestly. So instead of trying to sit there, they sit there in these podcasts and say, oh, what's the plan? Oh, we have to introduce a universal basic income. And no. And this makes me a little bit furious because it's so obvious. It's so obvious. The only plan is to make more money quick now. There is no long-term plan. We can see this. It's so obvious. So, and this is it's like it's saying this now is it's some people find it provoking, but this is like some things are hard to predict. This is not. This is like predicting the outcome of the mass vaccination during COVID. It's that simple. And yeah. Jeffrey is saying AI isn't replacing people, it's replacing how people work. Well, I can tell you that it's absolutely replacing people. If we look at the numbers, they are firing people in the thousands and tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, and implementing AI. So it's absolutely replacing people. And we have only seen the beginning. Respectfully, so I disagree with that statement. Yeah, Amazon. Which one was it that? Yeah, one of those. Was it Amazon? Um, yeah, one of these companies. They fired like. Yeah, and it was Amazon firing 40,000 people. Yeah. Um, Another thing here is that another aspect of this is um, I get your point, Jeffrey. So no disrespect here. It's just that I think that we have to realize that AI is reducing the workforce already. But the way that we should learn to work in a different way. So okay, you should learn to implement AI and so on. That's what people are saying. What about no? What if I say no? What if I say no? What, for instance, I'm a novelist. Lots of novelists now are using AI to write parts of their books. What if I say that my work and what I am is being a novelist, writing? That's a process that most people can't understand what I'm doing, right? And if someone told me that, well, now you have to use AI as part of your work to write novels, I would reply, I'm not going to do that because I don't want to. That's not art. That's not that's not my craft. So then I would rather not have books published. Videos, I make videos, right? If someone told me that you have to implement AI in your video production, I would say basically, I am not going to do that. I do not want to do that, so I'm not going to do it. That's not being an artist. That's not creating. That's not what I want to do. And you will see people having the same attitude in other areas as well. It's like they will say things like, that's not what I signed up for. That's not what I am. Um, and this goes for right now I can only think about the creative professions. Another example, I know a designer, and he says that he's not going to use AI because that's not what he would rather do something else. You know, um, I would rather be a postman than quote unquote write books using AI. Nothing bad with being a postman, but just an example. So this is important. This is important because these AI bros, they assume that people will just use it because they are told that they have to. And my answer is, what about if I just say no? I'm going to say no, so you can just fuck off, right? Jeffrey, I can assure you, there will never, ever be AI in any part of my work, in no part of my creative process. Not with my books, not with my videos. So far, AI is kind of affecting my work a little bit because I had an interview sent to me. When journalists do an interview, so they send you, if they follow protocol, they send you the interview before it's published. And at least part of this interview was quote unquote written using AI. So I had to go through the text and correct every single sentence because most of it was wrong. And also, every time I upload a video on my main channel or my outdoors channel, Bjorn Outdoors, I have to go through this. I don't bother. I can't really do that with a 1.5 hours live stream. I really can't. But my main channel and my outdoors channel, I have to go through the captions. Is that what you call it? The captions. It says, it's written what you say, because they use AI for that. And it's like I have to make corrections in every single sentence. And they always get my name wrong, by the way. If I say my name is Bjorn, they always get it wrong. All Norse names they get wrong. And it's so annoying. I have to go through all of it every single time. So that's annoying. You need an assist to do those things. That would be difficult because it's difficult to find assistants qualified. They don't know. People don't know if I talk about Norse Viking Age culture, very, very few people know the correct spelling of those names, for instance. Um, so yeah, I have to do it. You could train an AI model to understand that actually. LOL, Jeffrey. Were you on the toilet for a little while now? You didn't hear me. You were in the toilet or something, I hope. Oh, bathroom. That's the Americans, they say bathroom. Or restroom. You go to the restroom. Is that what you say? That's odd. What kind of pervert is resting at where the toilet? Imagine if you're at a restaurant and you go to the toilets there, and there's a guy there, and he's just sitting there by the wall, for instance, and he says, "I'm just resting." That would be very odd. Or even worse, actually, bathroom. You have to go to the toilet, and there's someone there taking a bath. That would be not so nice. Not nice at all. Yeah. So that's funny. Those terms aren't literal in the US, more casual. Yeah, but it's just a silly. Those are silly names. It makes me think, as I said, about someone resting there. And another thing is, I've heard this again. It's American. The American spoilt wives, they say that I like to entertain my guests. Hire Jackson Crawford. There is not enough money in my videos to pay for hiring people. Um, yeah, so these wives, they say that when they like to entertain, have guests and entertain. And I'm like, what the hell? I wouldn't want to go there, entertain. So is she going to sing or dance or stand there and tell jokes? That would be annoying. But apparently that means that she's going to serve food. Yeah, and they call that entertaining. It's not entertaining to have food. Eating is not entertaining. It shouldn't be entertainment to you, eating. So yeah, that's odd. And if I come to the USA, I will tell people and educate them about these terms, that they shouldn't say it. Yeah. But anyway, I would be so popular in social settings in America. I know. I just know it. Yeah. Uh, I think that bathroom toilet names are for to take away detail, politeness. I would say, now I've had the dinner, I've eaten your food, now I have to go to the toilet. I would say that. Yes, that's what I would say. Better keep it honest and direct, I think. Yeah. Again, I would be very popular. So, yeah. Yeah. Hmm. But okay, enough with the toilet talk now. Um, Someone's getting ready, very descriptive here. You could also go, the food was okay, but it made my stomach very upset, so now I have to go to the toilet. That would also be a popular way to thank you for the food. That's also a way to do it. I have lots of good advice for social settings, as you can notice. Okay, enough of that. I'm going to have my breakfast now. I will eat because I'm hungry. Um, okay. Have a nice rest of the evening or whatever. Okay. Bye bye.